December 1944. The snow fell thick and silent over the Ardennes Forest. Allied forces, exhausted but confident, believed the war in Europe was all but won. Hitler's Third Reich was collapsing. Then, on December 16, 1944, the silence was shattered. Hundreds of thousands of German troops, supported by thousands of tanks, Hitler's last desperate reserve, launched a massive surprise counteroffensive. This was not a retreat. This was a full-force blitzkrieg assault designed to split the Allied lines, trap entire armies, and force a negotiated peace. This was the Battle of the Bulge, the largest, bloodiest battle fought by the U.S. Army in World War II, a desperate, brutal winter war where American GIs, outnumbered and freezing, fought to the death in dense forests and tiny villages. This is the story of Hitler's final insane gamble and the incredible courage of the men who stood in his way. The attack caught the Allies completely off guard. The Ardennes, a densely forested, hilly region, was considered a quiet sector, lightly defended by tired or inexperienced American troops. The bad weather, thick fog and heavy snow, grounded Allied air superiority, providing perfect cover for the German advance. German Panzer Divisions, spearheaded by elite Waffen-SS units, smashed through the thin American lines. German-speaking soldiers in U.S. uniforms infiltrated behind lines, sowing confusion, changing road signs, and cutting communication wires. The Allied front line literally bulged inward, giving the battle its name. Entire American divisions were overrun, captured, or cut off. Supplies were low. Temperatures plunged below zero. This wasn't a tactical retreat. It was a desperate scramble for survival. The German objective was the port of Antwerp, a vital Allied supply hub. If they reached it, they could starve the Allied armies and prolong the war indefinitely. The fate of the entire offensive hinged on a small, strategic crossroads town, Bastogne. This was a vital logistical hub. If the Germans captured it, their advance would continue unchecked. By December 20th, the town was completely surrounded by massive German forces. Inside Bastogne, holding the line, was the U.S. 101st Airborne Division, the Screaming Eagles. Outnumbered, cut off, and running critically low on ammunition, food, and medical supplies, they faced constant artillery bombardment. On December 22nd, the Germans sent an ultimatum: surrender or face annihilation. The American commander, Brigadier General Anthony McAuliffe, gave his now legendary one-word reply: nuts. This defiant message, sent to the German commander, became the rallying cry for the besieged Americans. They were freezing, starving, and outgunned, but they would not break. Their stubborn defense of Bastogne became the heart of the American resistance, drawing vital German forces away from their main advance. This was a war fought against two enemies, the Germans and the brutal winter. Temperatures dropped to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. Soldiers suffered from frostbite, trench foot, and hypothermia. Equipment froze. Weapons jammed. In the dense, snow-covered forest, visibility was minimal. This meant close quarters, brutal combat. American GIs, often fighting with antiquated M1 Garands against superior German tanks like the King Tiger, engaged in desperate ambushes. They had to rely on individual courage, their M1 rifles, and their bazookas. The fighting was relentless. Casualties were horrific on both sides. The infamous Malmedy massacre, where German SS troops executed over 80 unarmed American POWs, fueled the American resolve. There would be no surrender, no quarter asked, and none given. The tide began to turn with the weather. On December 23rd, the skies cleared, allowing Allied air power to finally join the battle, bombing German supply lines and columns. But the most dramatic relief came from General George S. Patton's Third Army. In an astonishing feat of logistics and command, Patton pivoted his entire army 90 degrees in just 2 days and launched a powerful counterattack. On December 26th, Patton's tanks broke through to Bastogne, relieving the heroic 101st Airborne. By mid-January, the Bulge in the Allied line had been flattened. The Battle of the Bulge was over. It was a devastating victory. The U.S. Army suffered over 89,000 casualties, including 19,000 killed. making it the costliest battle in its history. The Germans lost over 100,000 men, thousands of tanks and aircraft. The Battle of the Bulge proved that even when surprised, outnumbered, and freezing, the American soldier would not break. It was the ultimate test of courage and resilience, and it secured the final path to victory in Europe.